few short weeks away, and Run Pure Sports is gearing up for the season with the best deal in DFS.
For a limited time only, we are offering new members a 15% discount for the life of their subscription, including SaberSim subs. Simply use the promo code NFL15 when subscribing to take advantage of this great deal before our prices go up.
And at RPS, we don't just give you access to one sport. When you subscribe to our premium service, we give you access to all of our content, including NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, and so much more.
And we're not going to charge extra for access to our preseason content either. Our memberships include all of our content, including the NFL preseason. The best DFS players in the industry give you access to their core plays and slate strategies for every sport and for every slate. Simplify your lineup building process by plugging in picks directly from the top players in the world. Watch our premium live streams to gain a huge edge on the competition. Our guys are live up to lock for the biggest slates, walking you through their last-minute decisions, analyzing breaking news and injury alerts for the major sports.
Again, for a limited time only, you can access our industry-leading DFS content for 15% off our already low price. SaberSim packages are included, so sign up today using the promo code NFL15 for 15% off your subscription for life and start building winning lineups today.
What's going on, everyone? AP over here at Run Pure Sports, bringing to you the Strokes Gain Show. We're here a little early. First look, it's here with my two boys. We got Snyder, we got Hoop. I have an obligation tomorrow, but honestly, we're kind of testing this out. Tell us if you like it, a day early, it gives you more time to view the video, watch it, and then obviously we have our premium content, the premium show coming out Wednesday. But give us your thoughts. Let us know how you like it, if you like it a day early or if you like the original time on Tuesday. But let me bring my boys in. We got Hoop, we got Snyder. Hoop, how's it going, man? How was your week last week?
Yeah, going well. Last week it was close, man. I had I think 40 some. Tom Kim was my highest owned guy, 40 some percent. Unfortunately, our guy Adam Long had been treating us well for so long. Really hurt the feelings. I had, I think, like 30 some percent of him. Siwoo Kim was one of my highest owned guys. Still was able to grind out a little bit of a profit last week, which is good when, a lot of your key guys WD or don't complete the rounds. But Tom Kim run, absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you have to love what you see from this kid. Now he gets in here this week, coming in at 8K, coming off that big win. Just a cool story to kind of watch and follow. In terms of this week, we're going to kind of do a little first look type thing, go through tier by tier like we always do. And, at first glance here, man, this is a loaded field and it is going to be tough to make some cuts. And, making cuts will be very important this week, the guys that you choose to leave out of your player pool. So this is kind of just the beginning of it for me. It's a true first look. And my initial thoughts, like I said, is, man, like, where do we start making some cuts? But we will as we go through here.
Yeah, very good. I love it. We're coming off easy events, a couple birdie fests where we had weaker fields. Now we get all the big boys back. We get a hot Tony Finau coming in, coming off 2 wins. Now he gets a real field, though, a true test of golf. It's going to be really fun and exciting, to see if he can keep it going because he's been incredible. Snyder, how's it going, my man? One question for you. So, you're the highlight of the Run Good poker, I think. And you're decked out in Run Pure sports gear. Look, Snyder was just looking incredible. Sitting next to Granny, though, what happened? Granny knock you out of that, or what went down in poker this week, man?
No, Granny did not get me. I mean, she actually was playing well, though. She held her own, but I played with her for a while until they broke the table. I ended up going on to another table. I fell a little short of the cash, though. I think I finished like somewhere in the 80s. They paid like the top 43, so we were just a little off. But, I mean, it was a great tournament they had there. It was fun to go back. I think we're going to head back. You were there as well. I think we're going to head back in September when the circuit comes to town. So that was fun. I actually had a pretty good showdown day. I think it was round 2. We've been pretty spot on that round 2 showdown show. I actually needed Zach Johnson to just go par on 17 and 18, and I would have shipped the GBP and 20K. But Zach Johnson goes bogey, and I ended up finishing in 4th. That cost me about like 18K swing, but oh well. I mean, it was a all right week though. I was overweight on long. He kind of did hurt my feelings in the main slate, but it was a positive week overall. So looking forward to this week.
Yeah, very good. If you haven't yet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps us out a ton. We have an awesome promo going on right now, going all the way up until NFL. NFL 15, it's going to get you 15% off for life as long as you don't cancel the membership. It includes Saber Sim as well. That is NFL 15. I'm telling you, we have new content coming. We have new guides. I'm working on a heat map that's going to be awesome. You guys are all going to love it. If you're a member, we're working on a little sneak peek, little NFL betting playbook, a concept that I think is going to be very unique to the industry. Everyone's out there right now giving plays on TikTok and little videos and stuff like that. We're going to give you a full NFL betting playbook. So it's going to go work right, side by side, not side by side, but it's very similar to the DFS NFL playbook. So the concept we are working on rolling out. Again, NFL 15, sign up, 15% off for life. Snyder, we are at we're at Tpc Southwind for the FedEx, replacing the Northern Cross. Give us a quick course overview, and then we'll dive into the tiers.
Yeah, like you said, we're at Tpc Southwind here. It's a par 70. It's going to measure 7,243 yards. This is going to be the first time they host a playoff event here. It's been played on the tour, though, for many years. It's a ball strikers track here with some of the smallest greens on tour, averaging 4,300 square feet. The fairways are tight here as well, measuring only 28 yards wide. The 2.5-inch Bermuda rough can play tough at times. And these Zoysia grass fairways are definitely interesting. Some of these players have noted that they've gotten some flyer lies off these the way these fairways are grassed. Last year, the scoring average right here was 69.05, nearly 1 stroke under par. This isn't a track where putting has been key, as we've seen we've actually seen many golfers have quite success here with bad putting weeks. I believe JT won this event while losing strokes putting even. There are 8 par 4s here that are going to play over 450 yards. 11 of the 18 holes are going to have water in play. Both the par 5s are the easiest holes on course here, so you need to take advantage of these when you get to them. The majority of the iron shots here this week will be hit from that 150 to 200 yardage range. Some of the key stats to be looking at this week: strokes gained approach, off the tee, around the green, and bogey avoidance.
Yeah, very good. Let's dive right into it. How we do it each and every week. We go tier by tier, starting with the studs up top, 10K and up. John Rahm all the way to Rory Hoop. Let's kick it over to you first. What are you doing with this tier on a first look basis?
How times have changed for your boy Hoopster. Not too long ago it was all in Rahm, fade McIlroy. I think we're flipping here a little bit because, man, I got to be on my guy Rory here. I mean, I've given him a lot of shit in the past, but he's really turned things around in the last few months, and he's been, I think, the best player in the world by, I'd say, a pretty big gap between him and the next. So I have to play Rory here at 11K. I think he has a chance to make a run here throughout the playoffs. And then John Rahm, polar opposite. I mean, it's a guy that I finally stopped playing not too long ago, and it's felt good because the results have not been solid for him. I mean, 48th at the PGA, 10th at the Memorial, 12th at US Open, then 55th at the Genesis, 34th at the Open Championship. One of those situations where I think I'd rather just bet him than play him in DFS. He's like 22-1. Maybe he gets it all together here and makes a run. So I'll probably put a little dabble on him to potentially win, but fade in DFS. And then, like I said, I'm going to have a lot of Rory Scheffler up top. Again, he's looked a little bit rough. Could he turn it on here and get things going? Yeah, absolutely. But at 10-8, you're paying a premium for that. So I think he's probably looking like another fade for me. Xander and Cantley, I'm going to kind of throw into the same bucket. 2 guys that have been playing phenomenally well lately. $300 separates them in price. I think I'm going to play both. I mean, Cantley, this is kind of when he took off and went on a little run. Well, he started a run prior to it. 3rd at the Memorial, 14th at US Open, 13th at Travelers, 4th at the Genesis, 8th at the Open, and then 2nd at the Rocket Mortgage. He's on a little bit of a heater, and I like playing guys when they're on heaters, so I'll be on him. Cam Smith is the tough one here in the middle. I just prefer to play Cam Smith when he's not like in the 10K range, when he's in the 9K range. So he's probably a guy that I'll be off of. And then the last guy in this group, Justin Thomas at 10-2. Don't know what I'm going to do with him, but it's been rough. He won the PGA, and then after that, it's been a roller coaster ride. Really cut at the Charles Schwab, 3rd at the RBC, 37th at the US Open, cut at the Genesis, and then 53rd at the Open. Just hasn't been playing solid golf, but I'm guessing that will lead to low ownership. So I guess to sum up this range, for me, Rory, Xander, Cantley, kind of where I'm at, and then I'm not 100% sure what I'll do with JT.
I got to have my boy JT's back just a little bit. So I think we know JT now. He comes out and says he loves links golf. He may love it, but he sucks at it. He's been terrible. And so what I'm keeping in mind is, man, 2 of his most recent events were on links tracks across the pond. So, but still, looking at that recent results score right there, it's tough for him, man. It's been very tough. What's crazy is still, like, from a stats perspective, he checks a ton of boxes. Like, the ball striking's fine, hitting fairways and stuff. He just, needs to get it all together. So it's going to be very interesting, though, if we want to pay a premium for him, given that recent form. Snyder, kick it over to you, 10K and up range.
Yeah, I have to agree with Hoop there with Rory. It looks like we got peak Rory right back here. He's only finished outside the top 10 twice in his last 8 events. 5 of those have been top 5s there as well. He's averaged an absurd 10 strokes gain total over his last 10 events. The final round 70 at St. Andrews did cost him another major, but that should have him hungry here for another FedEx run, like in 2019 when he won the FedEx Championship. So definitely like Rory at the top of the board here. I think Scheffler is going to come in pretty well low owned. He's not in the best of form like we saw earlier this year, but I think he's interesting for tournaments. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to him though. Does have a couple top 15s in his last 2 trips to Southwind here, but I think he's interesting. Xander, we usually see the X-Man as more of a value play in these events like this. Usually he's in like that high 9K range. It's kind of interesting seeing him at this 10-6 range. I think that will kind of bring his ownership down. I know he's been playing absolutely great. He did finish 6th here in 2020 at the event, but that's been his only strong event at this course, 46th and a 27th in his last 2 trips here. Cam Smith's an interesting guy. First event back since winning the Open. He finished 5th here last year. Aside from Scotty this year, I mean, Cam's been very dominant himself this year with a couple wins. He won the Players and then followed that up with a 3rd place finish at the Masters. So I don't have any worry about him being able to back up a win with a good performance. But his off the tee game does worry me a little bit here with the tight fairways. We've seen him get a little wayward with the driver at times. So that's might hold me off him some. I do like Patrick Cantley quite a bit down here. I like his price tag 10-3. I mean, I think Cantley and Xander, sometimes they could be flip-flopped in pricing in these type of events. He's been low-key playing excellent golf, though. Many people hasn't really talked about him. Hasn't won an event, but, I mean, he's been consistently right near the top. 2nd, 8th, 4th, 13th, 14th, and 3rd in his last 6 events. He's been doing it with all parts of the game, too. Nearly 6 strokes gained tee to green, and then 2 strokes gained putting over his last 5 events as well. So I think Cantley is one of my favorites in this range, along with Rory.
Yeah, very good. For me, just, on a first look basis, I agree with you guys. Some of these guys way up top, like Rory, Scheffler, maybe even Xander, it's just, gosh, when we go through these tiers, I've glanced through them. There are some strong plays down here in the 9-8K range, guys that are in very good form. And so it does become, come down to price at some point. Playing some of these guys or spending way up for these guys, you're kind of sacrificing, potentially some of these mid-tier plays. So it's going to be really interesting. I want to side with good form guys. And so it leads me to Patrick Cantley down here. I mean, Xander too, maybe would check that box. And then Rory as well. But I could see myself eliminating a lot of these guys, playing Cantley, since we've seen him recently and he's been in really good form. Now, it has been on easier scoring tracks, but I do like him on these par 70 tracks where you want good ball striking, and he's making birdies right now, and the putter is hot at the right time. And then, we could play multiple guys down here in the 9K, 8K range. That might be the route that I go, just from a pure leverage standpoint, because now, I could change. Okay, I definitely could change. But if I eliminate Rory, Scheffler, Xander, Cam Smith, Justin Thomas, John Rahm, I'm eliminating a lot of ownership. Now I could screw myself, but really I look at it from a standpoint, I'm eliminating a lot of ownership. I'm going to make some stands, and a lot of those stands are going to come down in the 9K, 8K range potentially. So that's kind of how I see it right now. I mean, it's a true first look, but just when you look at the pricing and how many solid options that we have, that's kind of where I see myself leaning. So as of right now, I got to say Cantley is my number one, and then I would say Rory from just a pure who do I think could win? But I honestly would be fine fading him just because I know I can get multiple pieces in the 8 and 9K range. Snyder, your top 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Patrick Cantley 1 and then Rory 2, just basically off the pricing. You get a pretty good price savings from Cantley to Rory, but I definitely like both of the guys. I think John Rahm, I didn't talk about him, but I think he's going to actually be quite popular this week. People are going to see him. He's priced 7th. He's usually up 1 or 2. Now he's down at 10K. He just doesn't have good form, and doesn't have good form at this track really either.
Yeah, very good. Hoop, you're 1 and 2, and then let's go to the 9K range.
Yeah, I'll say Rory and then Cantley. I think both solid options up here. 9K range, kind of smaller. What do we got? 6 guys in this range. For me, I like playing guys when they're on heaters, when they're playing well, when they're hot, and there's nobody that fits that better than Tony Finau right now. Just playing phenomenal golf, all facets of his game, back-to-back wins. Yes, they're at easier tracks, but man, he's kind of a field player for me. And when he's running hot like this, I want to be on him. So I'll definitely be on Tony at 9-7. Zalatoris, I think is interesting here. Fired the caddy or parted ways with the caddy, got a new guy on the bag. Was pretty good over the weekend, 9.5K. I do want to be on him. And then Cameron Young at 9-3, kid special, man. I mean, he's been playing some phenomenal golf. His bounce back, second at the Open, and then second at the Rocket Mortgage as well. So I know for sure I'm going to be on those 3 guys. Matthew Fitzpatrick by default is probably going to be out. The track probably does fit his game pretty well, but at 9-8, I'm fine passing on him. Jordan Spieth, probably not. And then Victor Hovland at 9K will be fades for me most likely. I mean, I could be talked into these guys in the lower portion, but definitely on Finau, Zalatoris, and Cam Young here.
Yeah, very good. Snyder, 9K range, what are you doing?
Yeah, there's a few guys I like in this range quite a bit. Will Zalatoris, I definitely like him this week. I've been waiting to jump back on Big Willie in the playoffs. I think this fits up perfectly for him. This course is going to set up well. Big boy course for him in a big time field. This is usually when we see Zalatoris come out. He's a big game hunter all year. He's been. I could easily see him notch yet another top 6 finish like he saw at the U.S. Open, the Memorial, the PGA, and the Masters. He's finished really well at these big time events like this. He finished 8th in his lone start at this track last year. So I think Zalatoris is definitely my top play in this range. Looking at a Matthew Fitzpatrick, I think this sets up great for his game though. Also finished 6th or better in 2 of his last 3 trips here. He's got the strong recent form too heading into this event. I think this course is going to suit his game. So I'm going to be on him. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with Finau yet. I think he's going to be quite possibly maybe the highest owned golfer this week. He's coming off those back-to-back wins, but now he's back playing with the big boys though. So I expect him to see quite a bit of ownership. Like I said, the course history here for him isn't really the best though. He's went 34th, 65th, and 27th in his last 3 trips. So he's going to be highly owned. I think I can probably get off of him this week. Not sure what I'm going to do with Cam Young yet, but early early on, our ownership projections looks like he's going to be pretty low owned. So if he's going to be low owned, I have no problem jumping right back on to Cam Young. He's been playing absolutely great, pretty much from tee to green. So I like Cam Young if he's going to be lower owned. My favorite play in this range is definitely Zalatoris. So.
Yeah, I wonder if people, so like if you're, Fantasy National is a great resource, for golf, for stats and stuff like that. But I wonder, like, if you're using that this week, like at least right now, they're pulling in data from the Northern Trust last year. So like, if you're looking at that, if you're looking at this, like if you click that tournament history, it's showing Tony Finau won. I just wonder maybe for the more like, newer, player out there, if they get confused by that. I mean, that's something that could push Tony Finau's ownership up even more because it was a completely different course than this one. This track Tpc Southwind, WGC event and everything. So keep in mind when you're going through that, the differences there. Tony is like, man, he's playing such good golf right now. It's an ownership thing for me. I really want to keep an eye on that. I still am working under the belief that, look, like there's all these studs in here. Everyone's going to play everyone. I don't think anyone is going to get pushed like to extreme levels. That's really going to concern me, but it could be Tony. So that's the one I'm going to keep an eye on. I actually really like Viktor Hovland here. We've seen short game not matter as much, around the green and putting at this track. And so that has me very interested in Hovland. Hovland seems to be the guy that could be forgotten down in this range too. And he looked good at the Open Championship. I think his game is much better fitted for, American style golf courses. So Viktor Hovland's someone I'm very interested in. And then Jordan Spieth's kind of like, man, the tee to green stuff is there. The putter hasn't been there. So maybe, it's kind of a reverse Jordan Spieth type thing. Like he's so much better from a ball striking standpoint this year. He sucked at putting. Bad putters can win here. So maybe that gets me interested in Jordan Spieth. And then Willie Z. So Willie Z, I always fade him at weak field, birdie fest type of events. I love playing him in these big dog events. Like Willie Z just shows up. He must just get motivated by good competition and everything. So I am definitely in on Willie Z. I think this range, all of these guys, Finau, Willie Z, Cam Young, Hovland, more of tournaments, Spieth, more of tournaments, just even Fitzpatrick, loaded range. I think if you do play this range, you can justify fading some of the big dogs up top. So for me, my 1 and 2 is I'm going to go Hovland for tournaments, and I'm going to go Willie Z. But man, Finau is up there, like very, very, very. I'm very interested in Finau again too. So Snyder, you're 1 and 2, 9K range.
Will Zalatoris is my 1, and then Fitzpatrick's going to be my 2nd.
Yeah, very good. If you haven't yet, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. It helps us out a lot. We have a promo going on right now. NFL 15 gets you 15% off for life. That includes SaberSim package. As long as you do not cancel that membership, it's going to be locked in for life. So get that sign up, run peer for us if you already aren't. If you already are, awesome. We love you. We appreciate that. Hoop, 1 and 2, and then take us down to the 8K range.
I'll go Cam Young and then Tony Finau. 8K range, right at the top, Morikawa at 8.7. Cheapest price tag we've seen in a while, but man, he sucked. Sam Burns has sucked. Most likely off of those guys. Sung Jae's been playing solid last week, obviously back-to-back second place finishes. I have some interest in him. Not playing Matsuyama. I think Shane Lowry, he finished 83rd last week. That'd be like dead last. But of course that should set up well for him. So there's some interest for me there. And then, Tom Kim at 8K, very interesting. I mean, coming off the win, 8K, haven't looked at the odds. I imagine they are, do you guys have those off the top of your head by chance?
40 to 1. Is that right?
Yeah. DK has,
could be wrong.
DK 40 to 1. So
41.
I imagine he's going to be pretty popular, and I don't really, care about ownership all that much, but if he got to be like super, super popular, I could definitely fade him coming off a big win. But 8K price tag, it's definitely appealing for me here. But honestly, a lot of fades in this range. Not going to be on Morikawa, Burns, Hideki. I think is a very easy fade. Price could suck some people in, but I'm not going there. Not going to Horschel. So the main guys I'm looking at here are probably like Sungjae, Lowry, and potentially Tom Kim, as long as the ownership doesn't get to a crazy point on them.
Yeah, very good. Snyder, we got your boy down here. 8,700 feels like a huge discount when you look at his resume. Just in general, two-time, major champion, very good ball striker, but he's having a pretty terrible year. What are you doing, man? What are you doing with your boy, Collin Morikawa, 8,700?
Yeah, it's been absolutely a tragic year for him. I mean, not to say, he does have a couple top 5 finishes this year. He finished top 5 at the U.S. Open, finished top 5 at the Masters. But besides that, it's been a pretty terrible year for him. He's under 9K as a response to that. I think if this was a course to bounce back at, I think this is a great location for him to bounce back at a ball striker's paradise, kind of like this. We've seen golfers not have to putt well at this course. It's been an interesting year for him. It's been mainly full of disappointments, but I think we could see maybe Collin Morikawa kind of go on like a Patrick Cantley type run here at the end of the season. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he got everything rolling. He got his clubs. There was a deal on Twitter where his clubs were sitting on the tarmac for a while, but he's safely got
Snyder,
his clubs back.
Can we get a hand check right now? Like we need, this is a lot of, this is a little too much Collin Morikawa stroking going on for what he's done for us recently.
It's definitely been hurtful. I missed a couple cuts overseas, but I can get away from that. So I'll probably have some Morikawa in tournaments. I'm not going to be heavily overweight on him, but I think he's going to come in under 10% with his win equity at that price. I think it's interesting for tournaments for sure. So I'll have some of him. Not going to play Burnsy. He did finish second here last year. That could maybe push his ownership up a little bit. I'm seeing him like right around 12 to 15% early on in the first round of ownerships, but probably be off of him. I do like Sungjae quite a bit this week. He come off that letdown on Sunday. He was right there, poised to win. Had to settle for a second. Yeah, he finished second in his last 2 events now. Comes to a course. It's a ball striker's course, just like I said with Morikawa. His stats, he was great across the board his last 2 events. So I think Sungjae can kind of bounce back here at a good price tag of 8,500. I went on like a mid pack here in his 2 appearances, 46 and 35th. So, that's not great, but I think he's playing much better this year. Billy Horschel, I think he's interesting this week. When you look at someone with a ton of course history here, Billy Horschel's played at this course when it was a WGC and then before it was a WGC event. He's been here a ton of times. I've seen 5 top 10s on this course for him in his last 8 times playing this course. So I definitely have some conviction on Billy Horschel this week. He played all right last week, 27th. I think he can do better here. I think I'm going to be off Tommy Kim, though, this week. He putted lights out last week, gained 12.5 strokes putting last week. 3 of the 4 rounds, he gained over 4 strokes putting. I think it's going to be an easy fade for me. I think he will be one of the highest owned guys. Early runs has him like in the low 20s. I think that's only going to get boosted up too with the 8K price tag. And on FanDuel, he's 34 to 1. And on DraftKings, I think he's 40 to 1 for win odds.
20%, you think?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think he's. I think with that 8K price tag coming off the win, the 7th, 26th, and the 47th, I think people are going to be running to him at that price tag. So I think I'm going to stay off of him. If it burns me, it burns me. But more so an ownership play. I think we can get Billy Horschel at easily half that ownership. I think they have pretty much the same upside on this track. So I definitely am going to side with Horschel over Tommy Kim.
Do you guys remember why Hideki withdrew from the 3M? I don't even know why he was
I'm
playing
not
the
sure.
3M. Yeah, that's something we'll have to look into.
Sore wrist.
Sore wrist, okay.
Yeah.
I think, man, when I look at this range, I just I'm glad you mentioned that about Billy Horschel. He's like one of my favorite plays in this range, 8,200. He's been awesome on Bermuda this season, knows the track really well. I hope that goes a little overlooked. And I'm glad they priced him like a little bit higher than what, I think many would think that he should be priced. So Billy Horschel's interesting. The one guy I don't like in this range is Shane Lowry for sure. Like, I'm definitely not playing Shane Lowry. I just think he's been terrible like all year. I mean, he started off the year hot, but like he's been like, when has he ever like paid off his like price tag like recently? It just seems like forever.
I think the only time he's paid off his price tag was when he's at the Golden Corral buffet line.
There we go, Snyder. Zing.
Yeah.
Tom Kim. So like Tom Kim's, this dude is good, but like look at this. Like you got Sam Burns, 3-time winner this year, Colin Morikawa, 2-time major winner, Hideki, Billy Horschel winner this year. Like you have a lot of guys on this range that I just think from an ownership standpoint, if Tom Kim is popular, that I would much rather play over him. That's not taking away like how good I do think he is. I just think coming off a win, we talk about it all the time. It's so hard to back it up. So for me, Sam Burns, he finished, I believe, second here at TPC Southwind last year at the WGC event. I think did he lose in like a playoff, I believe? Someone in chat, go look that up. I'm just going off memory. Sam Burns is just a guy, 8,600, I feel is too cheap. I think he belongs in that upper tier category. 3-time winner this year. He's got to be gunning. I think these guys are all gunning for the top prize. And Sam Burns, I think, is a guy that just, he should want to be chasing his boy, Scotty Scheffler. And so I think this is a massive, massive discount that we're getting on him this week. I have a ton of interest. Sungjae Im, this is a guy coming in, playing good, and I like riding some of that momentum. So I'm on Sungjae Im with you guys. Colin Morikawa, I think is going to be low owned, maybe. Keep an eye. If he's low owned here, I'm going to play him because this is a ball striker course. He's been terrible, but it's just, gosh, like you can build some sexy lineups with these guys down in this range and fit multiple in. And if that's going to be unique versus like spinning up for the Rory or the Scotty, Xander, Cam Smith, JT, etc., if that's going to be unique, that's the route I'm going to go this week. And then Shane Lowry, no. Hideki's like, if so, like the numbers, is it true? Like, are they throwing around like a $300 million number for the live thing for him?
Yeah.
So he must like, why would you care about the 3M? But you might be caring a little bit about the FedEx. He's still in it. Like, might be fun for him to go and win this thing and then say, F you guys, and go to live, take his bag and then go get, 300 bags over there from the Saudis. Maybe that's what he's doing. So I'll keep an eye on him. I think he's an interesting leverage play. He's played well here at this track. If he's going to be low owned, I'm going to have him in my pool for sure. I love getting leverage in this first event of the FedEx Cup in this mid-tier range. So for me, I got to say my favorite two plays, it's really close between Sam Burns, Billy Horschel, and Sungjae, but I'm going to say Billy Horschel and Sungjae just because they have some recent form coming into this event. They played last week, and I think those guys are going to be ready to go. Snyder, you're 1 and 2, 8K range.
Yeah, I'm going to be right there arm in arm with you. I'm going to go Billy Horschel 1 and Sungjae 2. I definitely like those two this week.
Love to see it. Hoop 1 and 2, and then let's go down to the 7K range.
I'm going to go Sungjae, and then I do like Shane Lowry. I think it's a good price for him. So I'm going to go Sungjae and then Big Shane for us. Next range, a lot of dudes down here. Max Homa, after missing the cut at the Open Championship, bounced back with the 24th at the Rocket Mortgage. Somewhat disappointing, but I think he long-term is just going to be solid. So in on Homa. Never really play Hatton. He was pretty solid last week. Yeah, he finished 8th. I don't know. I don't like the guy, so I just don't play him. Making it pretty simple there. Russell Henley is another course that should set up well for him. I mean, he's a guy that you need to be very course specific when you play. And this is a spot where I think he can definitely have a lot of success. I think Cory Connors is a phenomenal play. I mean, 7.6K, I think is a really I think he's really mispriced, I guess. And again, another course that I think fits him very well. So at 7.6, I mean, I love him. I'm going to keep playing Pendrith. I mean, he continues to reward us. 13th last week. I mean, that's 5 straight top 13 finishes. I mean, just phenomenal. And I think he has a chance to maybe go a little overlooked. There's a lot of guys down here, a lot of names. Pendrith is playing better than anyone now. It has been in some of these weaker field events. I'm fine with it. I'm going to Pendrith here for sure. Our guy Kirke at 7.4K. 17th at the Rocket Mortgage. I just think it's a good price tag for him. I'll take a shot on Thigala down here at 7.4K as well. I mean, it hasn't been a great run for him. Actually, he's been pretty bad lately. Might have to reconsider that one. But 7.4, I'm gonna dig in a little bit. But keep playing our guy Poston. Really like what I saw last week, 21st. Had a solid Sunday to finish out that round with a 66. Siwoo Kim is an interesting one. I mean, kind of quit on us this past week. I don't know if it was he withdrew of illness, I guess, apparently. Probably just I'll stay off of him. Our guy Mav, 7.2K. Missed that cut at the Rocket Mortgage, but man, I gotta play him when he's down this low. I mean, just a super cheap price tag for a guy who I think has some upside. Denny McCarthy can literally fuck off. I mean, I know AP, you are going to be in the same boat as me. We all played flop leg last week, which I loved. The guy is just talk about an uninspiring event at the Wyndham. Like, just did nothing.
He's off right now. His game's off for sure.
Gosh,
he's
so
losing strokes putting too, and he's like the best putter in the world. So
not
a good sign. Not a good sign when that stat category is off.
Yeah. So he's missed 3 out of 4 cuts. He's done. No McCarthy and hoops lineups for a while. Brendan Steele, 7K flat. I like that price tag on him. I mean, this is where this event is interesting. It's a very loaded field here. You got 122 golfers, top 65 in ties, make the cut. We're seeing some guys down here that have typically, or not typically, but in the past few weeks have had some much, much higher price tags. So you're getting a pretty big discount. So Steele I like, and then Adam Long, I mean, it sucked last week, and he withdrew. I just got to go back to him, and I'm just hoping. I mean, the ownership should be very, very low because he screwed a lot of people last week. You're not going to have to play a ton. I mean, if you play 10 to 15, you're probably going to be way over the field on Long. The hope is if you play Long, that last week was just like a little, outlier performance, because prior to that, the guy had been so steady, 4 straight top 25s. I think he can get it back. I think long-term, this guy is good. So I will play him. I'm not playing him as much as I did last week. I had like 35 or 40%, but I will play him and get over the field on my guy Long, give him another chance. But this range, it's a big range. I mean, there's a ton of golfers in this range. Didn't touch on everyone, but to me, this is potentially where the event could be won or lost, because there's just so many guys in here. So that's kind of where I'm at here.
Very good. Did you talk about Max Homa by chance?
Yeah, in on Homa. I mean, I think he's good. The Rocket Mortgage wasn't great. He was 24th, but again, one of these guys that had a really solid year. And Snyder always talks about it. He's a guy that we typically were only playing like on the West Coast, and then when we went to Florida, it was time to get off. He proved us wrong this year, and it has played well, pretty consistently. So yeah, I'll be on Homa.
Let me just, I got to say that was Snyder's rule, not mine. I love Max Homa.
Yeah, blame Snyder. Easy target.
It's crazy. Like T24, he looks like he wasn't even trying at the 3M, but it's just, I feel he's underpriced too. So I'm with you there. But Snyder, 7K range, I'm with Hoop, man. I think there's a lot of guys down in this range that are coming in with a ton of momentum into the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. I think this range is pretty loaded. For the price range this is. I actually like Terrell Hatton quite a bit this week. I mean, he's like low key been starting to play better. His game's starting to peak. I mean, he's went 56, 24. Would
you say not looking as fat and grumpy? Maybe?
That's
not
what
I'm
saying. He's right there in the Golden Corral buffet line with Mr. Lowry. But I'm going to get to him this week. I mean, 24th, 11th, and 8th last week. His game's coming right around. Gained over 5 strokes approach last week. Finished 17th at this event last year. So I think Hatton's an interesting low-owned guy. I don't think he'll be much at 10%, maybe. I don't think he'll be much more over than that if he even gets to 10%. I think Homa's right there as well. I think Homa will see more ownership than Hatton. And then you got Henley right below Hatton Hatton, which I think Henley's a great play also tomorrow. He's a great value, I think. Good price tag for him. The iron play has just been absolutely elite the last 2 weeks. Just can't make a putt. He gained nearly 8 strokes approach last week, but he missed a ton of putts inside 7 feet last week. Super tilting to watch him play over the weekend. He was hitting everything to like 10 feet and couldn't make a single putt. But I definitely like Riley. He bounced back last week, like we talked about, finished 13th. So we won't get him as low owned as we did last week, but I think it's solid. The iron play was back. He had the putter rolling, so I like Riley. Seamus Powers, interesting for tournaments. I think he's got some pretty high upside as we've seen recently. He was playing really good before that miscut at the Open.
Oh,
but I can give him
guy, man. Screw that guy.
I can give him a pass on the
I'll
Open.
give you all of Seamus Power. He hurt my feelings a lot at the Open. So
agree.
I can't agree with you there, Snyder, which means he'll probably ship. That's usually
I'm definitely going to play some Seamus now this week. I definitely like Penrith. I've been on him since he's been playing well. I mean, I've been on him a lot this year. Shot 71 in round 1 last week, but he fires right back. 67 or lower in his next 3 rounds to get inside the top 15. Gained over 6 strokes tee to green last week. Definitely like Penrith. JT Poston's another strong value option here. He's been playing his best golf of his career, I think, over the last year. At the Open, he did miss the cut, but before that, he was 11th at the 3M, won the John Deere, 2nd at the Travelers. I think he's got great upside. Has played this course a couple times. In 2020, he got 30th, and in 2018, he got 18th here. I think he's interesting. Alex Noren's a guy. I don't know if he's going to see any ownership at all, but I think he may have finally found something. Yeah, I'm seeing like 1 to 3 ownership on Noren early. I think he might have found something at the Scottish. He finished 30th there. He was a very, very consistent play for us early in the year. Kind of went on a little cold streak. I think he found something at the Scottish, and then he backed that up with a 2nd place finish at the Barracuda, 66 or lower in 3 of the 4 rounds there at the Barracuda. He was 12th here in 2019, the last time he played this track. So I definitely think Noren's interesting for tournaments. Stallings, great price tag for his recent form. Ches Reeves, another course history guy here, 6th in 2020, 27th in 2019, 6th in 2018, and then 4th in 2017 at this track. 2 of those were for WGCs, and 2 of those were at the previous event was held here. So I think Ches is an interesting guy. He's got pretty good recent form though too. If I remember right, I'm trying to pull him up there. Yeah, he's got a win, 49th and 47th and 8th. So he's got decent form heading into this. Adam Long was definitely very hurtful to us last week, but I'm going to go right back to him. I mean, he's playing way too good. Top 25 in 4 finishes before the withdrawal. So I'm going to go right back to Adam Long. Only $7K. I think that's a great price tag. Definitely not going to McCarthy. That guy's on the list.
Yeah, keep in mind on Chaz, like some stat providers out there aren't including the Barracuda in his recent results. So just something to keep in mind. So he looks worse on paper than actually how he's playing. He wasn't good the last 2 weeks, but I agree this is another track that could set up good for him. It's a big boy field though, for sure. Man, for me, I look at this, I'm like Max Homa. Like I'm like, man, I like how the course sets up for him. I look at it as I think he's going to be lower owned than Tom Kim. Pure leverage play right there, playing Homa over Kim. Henley's just been phenomenal. Like I don't even think his game is like 100% on point either. Like so one of the things I look at this 24 round cumulative number for putting, he's down 10 strokes to the field. He finished T5. He's finished T10 or better over the last 2 weeks, and he's not even putting good yet. Like that just shows how good the ball striking is. So love Henley. Aaron Wise, I hate giving Big T credit. Definitely something we hate to do. We don't want Big T's head getting any bigger. But man, he's been on Aaron Wise for a while now, and this dude is playing some phenomenal golf. The ball striking is just good. The putting's, and when the ball striking's not good, the putter shows up. He's really rounding into kind of a complete golfer, and I like how this course sets up for him. So I am definitely going to be getting on Aaron Wise this week, riding the momentum with him. Cory Connors, good ball striker, checks a lot of boxes. For me, Chris Kirke fits the mold. I think the one that's interesting is Mito. No one's going to I mean, are people going to play him? Like this is a guy that man, for a while there, we were talking about, being such an elite talent. Now, when you look at him, 4 missed cuts in a row. Keep in mind, 2 of them were link style golf, the Scottish and the Open, and then he missed the U.S. Open and the Travelers there. So it's been a while since we've seen him do anything. I do like how this course sets up for him, though. So if he's going to be low owned, I see him as being maybe pops early, and then if people move off of them, I could see his ownership go down. If that's,
I think he'll definitely be low owned, in my opinion.
Yeah, then I think he's a good tournament play for sure. I mean, it's like, did he really just randomly go from this guy that should have been a major winner already this year, and showed multiple good finishes middle of the season there, to just an absolute scrub? I mean, who knows? Maybe, but I don't think so. I think the ball striking's still there. I think he just needs to put it all together, and this is going to be a good track that should set up well for him. So Mito, I'm going to be interested in. Hoop's little brother, JT Poston, tons of interest in him. He's playing incredible. I mean, he actually looks like your brother, Jason, more so than you. If you go and look at that, he does. He's like, man, Jason Poston is what I'm going to call him from now on.
Poston,
this guy's,
let's roll.
He's playing some good golf right now, and it just like good mojo. Like his wife's always posting stuff about it on Instagram, and of course I follow all that because it's all relevant. But the guy's playing incredible golf right now. Won the John Deere. Obviously flew out. Missed the cut at the Open. That's fine. Then a T11, T21 last week. Left a couple out there for sure, but it was a birdie fest, and he just didn't get. He needed a few more putts to drop. But JT Poston, a guy that we can definitely ride. Webb Simpson is like, if you had to play like this, or if you had to play Ricky Fowler or Webb Simpson, and you're like, you had to play one of them, who would you guys pick? Both guys are just dusty as, dust gets. Snyder? Webb? Oh.
Webb for me. I mean, I will never click the Flower name.
I mean, have you seen Flowers' price? He's like 6,400.
Yeah, and it's still overpriced. It's incredible.
Oh, I hope actually, I'm getting ahead of myself, but hopefully people like look at these studs and then look at some of the names down there and try to go like a stud and value route, because I'm definitely going to be way off of that if the name is Ricky Fowler. So he's the same price as our boy Chesson. We'll get down to that range here shortly, but Cam Davis, 7,200. I love. I think it's a great fair price tag. T14, T16, T8. His last 3 events, he's coming in with some excellent form. So I'll be on him. Scott Stallings. I moved off of last week. I didn't think he's a bomber, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to play that bomber narrative. I'm going to focus on guys hitting fairways. He proved me wrong. Scott Stallings, T8, T4, T10, T13. I don't think there's many hotter than him right now coming into the playoffs. So I'm going to have a ton of interest in Stallings. And then I'm going to make a lot of cuts down here as well. Maybe Grillo, interesting. Ball strikers, bad putters can win here. That kind of fits Grillo's mold. He's actually been better at putting, though, recently, too. So he's starting to gain a lot of momentum with the flat stick, which is interesting because he's always had the ball striking ability. So I think that's a name to definitely keep an eye on. And if that narrative does hold true, the bad putters can win here, there's no worse putter right now than Brendan Steele. This dude cannot make a putt to say. Have you guys watched him putt? He's terrible. Like, he's so bad.
Well, that's
the ball
incredible.
striking's good, though. Like,
yeah,
it's
the
crazy.
results have been good. He's been top 30 in 4 out of 5, so that's potentially a good thing, right?
19 strokes lost putting over his last 24 rounds. One of the worst in the field. It's crazy.
Wow. I actually like him more, though, now because putting is less of an importance here. It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to get on him too. Good mojo. He's going to bring it back and make some easy putts. But man, this range, I agree with you guys. It's really interesting. You can make some really nice lineups combining this range with a piece from the 8K and then maybe 9 or 10K range. For me, my favorite plays though, let's see. I got to go Max Homa since I talked about him for a while, and then I got to go with let's go. Man, it's Cam Davis or Scott Stallings, one of those two for me right now. Snyder, you're 1 and 2 in this range. Oh, Matt Chapman, home run. There we go, Hoopster.
Oh,
wasn't that your play of the day?
No, he's been the play of the day like 8 times though this season. He always hits a bomb. Who did I have today? Varsho.
Varsho, that's right.
Matt
yeah,
Chapman.
I think I'm gonna go with Taylor Pendrith, 1. And then I'm going to go with short, stubby Terrell Hatton for number 2.
I love it, man. I'm glad you said that. I'm on him too. He looked good last week. Didn't look as fat, so we're good.
I was gonna hit on Matt Mcneil a little bit. I told Hoop to get off him last week. I think this is another week to get off. I mean, he's just been absolutely atrocious with the iron play as of late. Isn't the Mav we saw early in the year? I think he's good to make the cut. I don't think he's going to contend really here, but I think I don't know. I'm going to be off him now.
I don't think
very good.
I just love him, man. I don't know if I can do
I
it.
hear you.
It's all your fault too. You got me sucked in on him.
Hoop, you're 1 and 2. Then let's finish it out. 6K range.
Cory Connors 1. I just think it's a misprice, and then our guy Pendrith 7.6K. Just going to keep riding him. 6K. I mean, as I said, like when we got to the lower 7K range, a lot of guys down here that we've seen price much higher recently. A couple guys that stand out for sure right out of the gate. Finally, Snyder's boy Taylor Moore is playing well. He gave Hoopster's kids some golf balls, and everything changed for him. So in on him at 6.
Did he really?
Yeah,
he was oh, that's awesome.
It was his caddy did. So they were right in front of us hitting on 18, and we were kind of in the grandstands there. And my son's like, everyone that came by is asking, can I have a ball? Can I have a ball? And then Taylor, after he hit, I mean, Taylor Moore hit it like an absolute just dart on 18 to like 5 feet, I think. So they're in a good mood, and he sent the caddy over and tossed up a couple balls. So he's got a special spot in my heart. So I'm going to keep playing him. Alex Smalley at 6.8K. Playing well. Brendan Todd 6.8K. My guy Troy Merritt at 6.7. 3 straight made cuts for him. Svensson going back and forth on him, but I think I have to play him. Callan Tarum, got to just keep riding it out with him. 6.6K. Another solid finish last week. He finished 27th. We'd definitely take a 27th at 6.6K. Matthew Neesmith, 6.5K. 36 last week. Didn't have a strong round 4, but he was up there for a while. And then we come down even more. Lee Hodges, going to continue to play Lee Hodges. Have to play Chesson. This is where he kind of went on that little run last year. He's 6'4", very solid last week, actually. Very solid last week for us. And then last but not least, at 6.2K, Mr. Malmotti. It will be in my lineups again this week. So a lot of options here. I don't necessarily want to overdo it in the 6K range because I don't know how much win equity there is. But I'll be on quite a few guys down here.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's kind of the interesting thing is, if I fade some of those higher priced guys, I don't have to dip down into this range too much. Not a range I really like. There are a few names, though, that are interesting. Snyder, 6K range. What are you doing down here?
Yeah, I think there's some interesting names out here, like Hoop had said. Mr. Ham's right there, 5 straight made cuts coming off the top 10 to 3M. I think he's interesting. Taylor Moore, he just keeps getting pushed down in the pricing, no matter how high he finishes. So I definitely will be on him once again this week. Has been a great off the tee, and the irons have been heating up over the last 3 events. That's 5 straight events as well, gaining with the flat stick. So I definitely like Taylor Moore this week. Svensson's made 9 of his last 10 cuts. I think he's got a solid top 20 upside here, so I'll have him in my pool. Stewie Sink, I don't think he's got much upside, but I think he's the guy that's going to make the cut here. He's played pretty well at this track. I can go to Putnam. I think he's a solid option this week. 5 of 6 cuts made, a 27th and 11th in his last 2 events. He's got a couple top 25s at this track too, so I think he's interesting. Hoops guy, Callum Tarum, just continues to play strong golf. 5 of his last 6 events of 27th or better. Great price tag for him, so I'm going to be on him. I'm going to be off John Ha. Hopefully he gets some ownership off of his peak performance yet last week. Anibon Lahiri, I think he's a solid tournament option. Troy Merritt's been playing pretty well. It's a good price tag on him. He's got some decent history here when it was the St. Jude before it became the WGC event. So I think he's interesting. Some other guys, probably not. Marty Laird's been playing all right. I probably won't get to him though. Trey Molnex, interesting guy. He's got a couple top 20s here before it was a WGC. 6'5", so nice price tag for him. Hadley and Hodges, definitely agree with Hoop on those two guys. But I think that's pretty much my pool here for the 6K range.
Yeah, very good. For me, it's pretty easy. Like, I don't like this range a lot, but man, Taylor Moore, this dude's a stud. You're right about him, Snyder. It just took a while for him to get going. He's got all the momentum right now in the world, so I love him. Troy Merritt, another guy. I'm glad you mentioned him, Snyder. I like him this week as well. I think he's going to fly under the radar too, but I think this is a good track that sets up for him very well. David Lipsky is another guy, just kind of fits the mold. I think he makes the cut, kind of plods along, finishes maybe T30 or better. I think he's a good anchor to use with a guy up top. Chesson Hadley as well. I think Chesson's playing really good right now. The putter's on fire. You're going to need that, though, because like the ball striking, he can get off course a little bit. But, man, if the putter's riding hot, he gets it done, and he's gained 21.3. This has to be the one close to the highest. The metric I look at, cumulative last 24 rounds, 21.3 strokes with the flat stick. Very impressive. Obviously, he can get it done under pressure because he needed to do that. So Chesson Hadley, like him quite a bit. Notebook play, though, Taylor Moore. That's who we're going with. We all believe in the hot streaks here. He's on one right now. There's absolutely no reason to get off, in my opinion. So Taylor Moore is the notebook play. Let's get into our winners. How we do it each and every week. We go, who we think's going to win, then we give a longer shot. Snyder, let me flip it over to you first.
Yeah, I'm going to go basically off an odds pick here. I think my guy Colin Morikawa, 2 odds to win this event. I think 30-1 is a great odds for him here. He's a 2-time major winner. He's won these big events before. I haven't seen him in that 30-1 range since I think it was since he won his first major. I think he was right in that range. So definitely like the odds with him there. And then going down, I like Taylor Pendrith. He's been playing absolutely great golf. 100-1 is really good odds for him this week. So I'm going to go with Pendrith. That's my long shot.
Yeah, very good. Hoop, kick it over to you. Who do you got winning?
Oh man, it's definitely a tough one here. I think I like one of the guys at the top. I'm gonna go with Patrick Cantley. I think he gets the job done. Kind of went on a little run here last year. So give me Cantley to win. Long shot, I'm gonna go with. Let's see. Cory Connors, not necessarily a long shot, but I like Cory Connors to contend here this week.
Yeah, very good. I got 2 like kind of semi, not like overall massive favorites or anything like that, but I like their odds. I like where they're at. Sam Burns 35-1, and then Billy Horschel 40-1. Those are going to be my 2 winners for the week. It's a first look, but Snyder, do you have any final thoughts here on Monday evening?
Yeah, first look, like you said, we'll get dialed in more as the week goes on. We'll have the playbook out and all our content on the side. We'll have the showdown content as well. Looking forward to that. I really like these playoff events, mainly the first 2 events I like the most. I didn't really play much in the last one, but definitely like this event quite a bit. So looking forward to that. And then me and Simon will be doing an underdog show tomorrow, NFL best ball show tomorrow. And I think Big T might be joining us for that as well.
If he does, I'm going to watch. I'll be there. I'll be in chat because Big T on a best ball show would be epic, man. Something I would definitely tune in for. Hoop, final thoughts this week.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a fun stretch here. I mean, we're going to have loaded fields here throughout the playoffs. And yeah, looking forward to it. I mean, this field is very strong, making your stance and stances and making those cuts. Very important this week. So make sure you get over the field on your guys. And yeah, looking forward to watching this week. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, very good. We'll have the playbook and everything, be working on it tomorrow. It'll be up well before lock. The premium show on Wednesday with Big T and the fellas. And it should be a fun week. First look, we'll be in Discord all the way up to lock the day of lock, as we always are. I'm AP, that's Snyder, that's Hoop. Simon, get us out of here.